our live video. We are actually waiting for Maulik Mistry of Mojo Bars to join us. And I think he's based in Bombay. Hi, Vikram. Hi. So we're actually going to be talking to Maulik of Mojo Bars today, and the idea is for us to get to know about what he's doing in the middle of this pandemic, working from home, or is his manufacturing unit still live? They actually make some delicious, very, very healthy bars based out of Bombay, but we're going to let him tell you more about that when he's on.
Next 15 to
Are you guys glad that you're getting time at home? What's up, Rashil? How are you? How's everyone doing? Hi, Nupur. Hi, Sush. Any second. And no. No, not now. No.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. Good, how are you?
All right. How are things in Delhi?
Things in Delhi are all right, man. Yesterday was amazing weather. It was raining and it was absolutely
Oh,
beautiful.
how nice.
And today it's back home. How's it going for you? You're in Bombay, right?
Yes. Bombay has been pretty quiet. I think this is one of the cities that never shuts down. But I'm glad it's shut down since the last few days. I think it's very important to do what not to do. And that's the limbo state that we're in. But I think somewhere also, I think family helps there. So my family has been very supportive, and I'm very hopeful that we come out of this soon.
Nice. And who all's at home? Since we're talking about
So it's my lovely wife, my parents. So we're 4 of us locked down since the last Saturday. So we've completed a week now. So not that bad.
Yeah, we have. It's day 7. So are you having alcohol or is that
just water? Just water. I think it's too early to have alcohol.
Hey, it's lockdown.
That's true. How about you? Who's home?
Awesome. So well, for us, it's my parents and my husband and I, Vikram and I are here, and we have our little baby as well.
Nice.
So we have plenty of entertainment stuff to do.
That's good. Very good.
We actually managed to get into the factory today as well.
Oh, congratulations.
So hopefully we'll have
Hopefully you'll be able to send us some happy jars here in Bombay very soon. We're looking forward to
Fingers
that.
Crossed, yeah.
I did tell you the other day, my wife, I won't name the brand, she was going through a jar and she was just like, why can't I just buy happy jars? And I'm like, hey, I'm going to be talking to her pretty soon, so I'll request her personally.
For sure, that's done. So I will have it shipped out as soon as we're shipping to Bombay.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
That's done. So tell us a little bit about Mojo Bars. What do you guys do?
So I think it's perfect for the current situation that we're in. To give you a very simple answer, we help people get their mojo back. So if you've lost it, I think we help you get it back. We have a healthy snacking range. I think we started back in 2015 and launched in early 2016. We focus on making healthy snacks taste good. So it's as simple as that.
Nice.
And we launched through our first flagship product called Mojo Bar, which are healthy snacking gluten-free bars, completely free of preservatives. So that's overall the umbrella that we try and operate under, where no preservatives, completely natural, and we try to keep things as minimally processed as possible. And
nice. So we're talking clean.
Yes, clean label.
As far as.
And and last year we managed to launch 2 new products. Which one is Mojo Thins, which is a dark chocolate snack, and then the other one is Mojo Bites, which is savory, and it focuses on the savory snacking aspect of things.
Delicious. Wow, that sounds amazing. And who's your kind of audience? Is it people who are into fitness, I'm guessing, or is it just someone who's...
I think everyone who's looking for a healthy alternative. I think a lot of Happy Jar customers hopefully will now get to know about Mojo Bar, and they're my audience too. So
nice.
Yeah, I think working professionals.
And is it available?
Sorry?
Working professionals. Is it available across India?
Yes. So luckily through e-commerce, which is shut down temporarily, we are available pan-India through Amazon and Big Basket. And we have retail presence more in South and in West India.
Okay.
So we're now slowly and steadily getting to up north. So we've started Delhi, but limited stores right now.
Sure. Well, we're going to talk about that at some point when this is over.
That's great. Of course, 100%.
You know, the best thing about this, I think, this period is the fact that there are so many of us having these conversations. And, you know, apart from, of course, the F&B group that we have going, it's just fun to connect and to share points of views, and just how other brands are thinking. And I think a lot of the new CPG and consumer-facing brands are all in the health space. So, you know, a lot of our audience is probably overlap and things like that. So it's good fun. That's why we want to do this series, just to see what's up with you guys across the country and, you know, have conversations. It's very unusual to see brands talking to each other, you know, about real things and not just pushing a message. So that's what we want.
No, 100%. I think this is a time for all of us to collaborate. Somewhere I feel that Amazon is doing it with Big Basket. A few minutes back, they've put out a small campaign on social media saying how all of them are getting together. So if the big brands are looking at it, then we definitely, at our scale, you know, should unite and help each other even beyond this crisis. So I see a lot of merit in that. And I think hats off to your idea. I don't know what you were thinking on that Monday morning when you formed that group, but I think it's...
I was like, please someone help me figure out what's going on. It was as simple as that. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Correct. And I think in a week, we've gotten, I believe, more than 60 startups on that group.
Yeah.
And
yes, we are, and counting.
Yeah, and I think last night, after your live session, I believe 10 other people have written to me, which are unfortunately not part of F&B. So I don't know if we can add them to the group, but they're online signing that petition.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's exciting. Exciting times.
Very. So let's talk about your manufacturing. You guys have a unit as well. Do you make everything yourself?
So we have a unit in Surendranagar in Gujarat. We do contract manufacturing, but we work very closely with them. Luckily, we just got out of our production on 10th of March. So we have enough stock to keep us going till 15th of April. So we do not have to get into manufacturing until 15th of April. So that's one good news that we have, but we're still struggling to ship stock all around the country. Everywhere, my co-founder is currently, calling them and trying to figure out where the stock has moved. Unfortunately, it's completely locked down. Someone like a FedEx is still not operating. So fingers crossed. Hoping next week we get some momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're in the same situation. Our delivery partners aren't delivering either. Though we've been taking orders on the site, but we haven't been able to ship them out yet. But I'm hoping tomorrow it'll open up. They've said at least metro cities should be open by tomorrow. So the minute ours starts going out. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put you guys in touch with those guys as well. If delivery is working, then, you might want to use them in the interim because it's not hard to set it up.
No, unfortunately for us, the problem is that we have a very distribution heavy model. So we do not do any individual deliveries. So it's like it's on that last leg. So they're holding stock. So they're not even opening their warehouses for me to take the stock back. So until it gets delivered to the last point, I'm handicapped till then.
Right.
But
that explains your state of mind.
Yeah. So it's like a mixed bag of feelings.
Play Jenga.
No, my family keeps telling me. So every day now, 7 o'clock I shut down. We play some cards, over a drink. So I think that's been great. I think one of the great things about what has been happening, if you read about it, is that families are coming closer. I think we're spending more time with our loved ones. And we entrepreneurs need it the most, I feel. More than anyone else, because we're so passionate and crazy about what we do, we don't know how to draw a line. I don't know how you do it with your husband, but I mean, you can share those details.
It's difficult here because he's my co-founder, so we literally only talk work pretty much all the time. But yeah, we have to have rules as well, so we stop and kind of zone out after a while. And now that we have the baby, we focus on her after a point in time. When we come back home, it's just family time, and it's hard to do that for
Correct.
sure. And the lockdown is definitely helping because I've played more games in the last couple of
I
days
can
than
understand. I can understand.
I was a kid.
No, but that's
That's
great.
awesome. And tell me, tell me a little bit about how your plans have changed over the last couple of days. Is there anything you've drastically thought differently about Mojo Bars since the start?
So see, we've been in business for 4 years now, and we primarily thought this year is going to be our so-called growth year. We were ready with 2 additional brands, and in January there was a small itch with one of the factories, so we were out of stock. And since February, you know what's been happening. Even though the issue happened in the month of March, we necessarily haven't been, been able to get hold of, what to do, what not to do, and we're trying to constantly figure things out. I was speaking to another co-founder yesterday, and he was just like, "This is my time to really get things moving." And he's just so confused on what to do next. So I think all of us are waiting to hear from the government on what the next step should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree. And what you were in the US before this, am I?
Yes. So I'm an engineer by education. What about you?
I am an economics undergrad and a master's in marketing.
So cool, and making peanut butter.
Hardly. Don't make me do inflation growth graph and all, okay? Very bad at economics.
So I'm
Yeah, I know, and then peanut butter.
Yeah, no, I have a funny story also. I'm a mechanical engineer. I went through the US to my undergrad in industrial engineering, and I was in the US at the time of recession. So hopefully that will help me go through this phase also. So we were struggling to get a job, and one of my headhunters mentioned that there's a job opportunity at Nestle. So I'm like, Nestle, as an engineer, you would never even think about an FMCG company unless you come from a marketing background. So I joined Nestle and never looked back. This is my 9th year in FMCG now. I worked for Nestle briefly for 3 years, then another startup, Boston-based, which was into healthier confectionery, and then moved back to India in 2015 to start work on Mojo.
Wow. Why would you do that?
Why would I do that? That's an interesting question. I think the ability to want to keep pushing yourself and come out of your comfort zone and get to a point where you want to do something yourself. And given all the restrictions I had with my visa in the US, I would have had to wait it out for a few more years before I got my green card and things like that. So it just made more sense. I think I was 27 when I had this thought. And I'm just like, this is my time. I got to make it happen.
Nice. Yeah, we had similar backgrounds as well. Actually, we were in the UK for the longest time.
Nice.
And we studied there, then we were there. And again, it was visa issues because we got a work visa for 2 years, and then they had to switch us over to a sponsored visa.
Right.
And I was getting it, and Vic wasn't. So then we decided, you know what, let's just go back. So we came back here, both had jobs, and then one brilliant day decided that jobs are kind of boring.
But I'm curious.
Let's become really poor.
Why peanut butter?
Oh, that's a good story, actually. So Vikram is a horse rider.
Wow.
He was like a national level champion when he was in school. So he used to eat a lot of protein and used to eat a lot of peanut butter. And then he decided to look at the ingredients one day and realized that this is not good for me. So he made his own. And then the friends and all of that liked it. So we decided that we'll give it a good shot. I only joined him like a year back is when we started in retail.
Wow.
So till then it was kind of a long pilot, and we had a lot of our own. Of course, the recipes are all ours, so we had a good amount of tastings and all of that. And then we got into retail. So that's when we decided that this is it. We're going to give it a shot.
That's so cool. And I really like the brand name, Happy Joys.
Thank you. That was a 2-minute decision.
Really?
That was the only thing that happened in the first shot.
Yeah.
We literally were like, hey, what do we call it? We're like, happy jazz. All right, okay.
I think would you agree that a lot of your correct decisions end up happening to you in a split second?
Absolutely.
You don't take a lot of time,
But
brainstorming and figuring out what to do. I think you would get a good idea, and if you feel instinctively this is gonna happen, you go after it, and it really happens.
yeah, absolutely.
Because every time
That's
we
so
had,
true. And a lot of times,
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. No,
I
go
was
ahead.
saying every time we have to, we sit in a meeting and an idea goes beyond, a particular amount of time. Now we realize that idea is never going to make it. So we go with our instincts, we go with our gut. And it's strange how we entrepreneurs make it happen, I feel.
I think also you end up relying on it a lot more, right? Because over a period of time, when you're in an entrepreneurship situation, and I mean, you had industry experience to some extent, I guess, because you were in FMCG. But for us, we went from roasting peanuts on our tawa to getting, what's a small oven, and then seeing, okay, what's a bigger oven, and all. So it's just, it's fun to see how the business grows when you don't know what you're doing. So if you start instinctively taking a few calls and they work for you, then I think you end up trusting yourself more as well.
Correct.
And you're absolutely, long meetings don't help at all.
Right. I totally believe in that now. Every idea of ours that we tried to make work did not work. We kept as entrepreneurs saying, we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up. We're going to make it happen. And unfortunately, we're just too close to the idea. We have to let it go. And most ideas that happen just over a drink or, just not even being in that meeting. It just, the idea comes up to you and you're just at it and you're excited about it. That's how Mojo Thins happened, by the way. It's a new product that we launched last year. So, we used to struggle a lot during Diwali because unfortunately India is all about Diwali. Gifting, and it's a big season, and the distributors hype it up, and everybody hypes it up. And what are you doing for Diwali? And what's your gift pack? And this and that. And, for the first...
And what's your extra discount? Don't forget that. Kitna doge?
Correct. Kitne mein doge? They all want a Ferrari for a price of a Maruti. So, yeah. So, we tried putting bars. I mean, just to give you a perspective, we did bars for 2 years. And it worked quite well. But then we got bored of it. And we're like, for Diwali, why would anyone want to eat a bar? I mean, at the end of the day, it is a novel idea and people want to snack healthy. But they want something that they want to indulge on during Diwali. And that's where the Mojo Thins idea came into perspective. That let's come up with something that is, again, under the healthy philosophy. So, Thins is portion control, dark chocolate with real simple ingredients. So we would mix it up with cashews and cranberries and things like that. So that did really well last Diwali, touch wood.
I can imagine, we've actually been discussing this, so it's really great that you have a chocolate product because Vikram and I keep discussing this, and I think at the essence of it, what's your point of view? Do you think India wants to be healthy, or is it kind of we're teetering on the edge, and we're healthy, but meko chocolate to chahiye?
Chocolate definitely is one of those things that gets people to try new things. I would definitely back that because some of our top selling products are all chocolate based. However, somewhere I think you have to maintain that balance between borderline unhealthy and kind of supremely healthy. I think you have to have that range to be able to sustain. So we believe in a little bit of everything. I think as a brand we're quite balanced. So a lot of customers write to us and say, hey, but you have this one ingredient in your product and I'm not going to eat your bar. And we're like, it's a formula where it's less than even 1%. And that really helps us keep the product fresh, and it keeps the product, going up to you. Given India, the supply chain issues and all these other things, if you want to scale, you have to focus on being a little practical also. So I think we focus on better for you snacking. We don't claim to be the healthiest snack. We're a healthier alternative. I think that's something we try to focus on.
Yeah, and I think the entirety of India is actually going in that direction, right? To eat healthier, but that's not to say that we won't eat regular food. It's just if I'm going to eat something, I'd rather it not be the unhealthiest on the spectrum.
Correct. I think baby steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking India.
And did you do a lot of R&D? We have a question actually about how much R&D did you do about a product launch?
We did a lot with Mojo Bar. I'll tell you the first 3 products we launched. We were overthinking. We spent a lot of time. We worked on 8 different flavors and then, finalized on 3. But I think that's also because we had the time. At that time, we weren't doing any operations. So our entire focus, my co-founder was still working in another company then. I had moved back and I was doing this 100%. We spent a lot of time. We spent a year failing and doing trials. And even in 2016, when we launched, our first year was horrible because we were still trying to figure out the product on what is working, what is not working. I think since 27, it's been sailing well, touch wood. But the first 2 years were very critical. But I think when we launched Mojo Thins and Mojo Bites, we were much faster. So there was a lot of learning. There was a lot of database. So my third co-founder is a nutritionist. So she ends up developing some of these products. And now we've been in business for 4 years now. So we have enough expertise with what we want to work on, what we don't want to work on. And we use a lot of our gut feeling. But we do a lot of testing. So we will give it out to random people. We will take feedback. And now we're a lot better at taking feedback. Earlier, we were so close to the product that we would just take it very personally. But now we're getting much better.
That's awesome. So, I mean, in our case as well, I think the intention is to uncomplicate food as much as possible. And I don't know about you guys, but when we look around us at a lot of categories, we just feel that, if there is a home version of this, it would be so much better. And it's not that hard to do. So if you actually
100%.
re-engineer rather than, you re-engineer it from the basics, I feel like you get to a closer version of that with a lot more health involved rather than trying to put chemicals to reproduce for a base ingredient that you don't want to use.
Absolutely. And I think that's...
And a lot of products.
And I think that's the beauty of a startup. I think we focus on consumers first. I think compared to other multinational companies where they have the customers and now their focus is on how do we increase profitability? How do we make the supply chain easier? I think for us, we're still trying. We're so desperate to get our customers that our focus is on making the product right. So I keep telling everybody and anybody that, that's one essence of a startup. You will have investor meetings and you will have everyone pointing out on profitability and things like that. Be creative because money is not for free. But try and really focus on how you can keep the product intact. Don't change the formulation. A lot of entrepreneurs after 5 years, 6 years being in business, they change their formulation. I've seen that. And that just troubles me.
RX bars did that.
A lot of people don't have.
I think RX bars to some extent.
Yes. RX bars on that.
Nice. All right. So moving on from business, are you a consumer of your own product?
Yes. I love my orange dark chocolate bar, which is our 4th edition. So I consume it every now and then. But I don't enjoy it as much. I don't know what you think. Whenever I eat my own bar, I'm thinking about minor nuances of the product. And I'm never able to savor it or enjoy it. I struggle and I'm just like, I give it out to people and I'm like, do you notice this? And they're like, no. Because you're so close to it, it's such a problem. So Sorry.
No, go ahead, finish. I have to share my exciting story.
So for me, again, it's a lot to do with sort of what kind of frame of mind I'm in. So I usually, when I'm home happy, then I'm gonna go eat a lot of my product. But when I'm stressed and working, then I tend to overthink, so I keep away.
Otherwise, knowing you'll be like, dude, scrap it. Not doing this from tomorrow.
Probably.
But no, for us, sometimes because I handle sales and marketing and Vikram handles the entire op and back end and he's doing all the manufacturing at his end. So when in the morning, sometimes when I'm tasting it, and I eat peanut butter pretty much every day because sometimes I'm having the chocolate one, which is my current favorite, or I'm having the chili, which is ridiculously good. So I have it with
you have a chili flavor.
And
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, we have a savory. It's so good. I'm almost like I'm biased, but it's honestly like toast with the chili chutney, peanut butter, and eggs on top. It is amazing.
Right.
And when I'm having, sometimes I'm just tasting it and I'm like, dude, this shit is so good. Like, why? You know, I just tasted it and I'm like, this is really good. Like, we must have done something right,
Correct.
you know. I think I'm at that stage right now where because it's nut butters and our recipes are our own, and it's good that we actually, even you and us, we taste the products ourselves, because that's the only way you'll realize how consistent it is over time. And as a customer, how would you be seeing the product as well, right? It's important for you to eat it
100%.
yourself.
100%. I would agree.
Yeah. So during lockdown, are you on any special diets? Are you watching what you're eating? Are you chilling? Are you fitness?
Unfortunately, my diet is that I'm on no diet. That's going to be worrisome because I am eating anything and everything. I try to do things. I was on keto for a while. I was doing a gluten-free diet. I was off dairy. So every day I'm at work. I have these mood swings because I'm unfortunately struggling to fit into my diet. And people around me are just like, why don't you stick to just one? And I'm just like, I want to experience how it is, because I don't believe in any of these fads, honestly. I believe in being balanced. I believe you should do a little bit of everything. So that's the belief system I come from. But I want to try. I want to know what it feels like doing a keto, being off gluten, off dairy. But I think these days it's just whatever you get, man. We're eating anything and everything.
Absolutely. I was on keto as well for like a week and a half.
Oh, how's that?
And it wasn't that hard.
Okay.
It was all right. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was like, so I had no rice, no bread, no whites at all, like no potatoes and all of that. But it didn't really help me feel, no sugar as well. It didn't really help me feel very different.
Okay.
And then there was lockdown. So I was like, this is my excuse. Now I can't keto anymore.
See, I need a carb-rich
So I
diet.
stopped.
So for me, if I don't eat any carbohydrates, I get these headaches. So for the first week on keto, I was struggling. I was just getting these massive headaches. So someone told me you should have some salt and potassium, but really nothing worked. So then I firmly believe that, listen, I'm just going to stick to going back to my balanced diet and eat everything, but just, measure what and how much you eat. Don't try to overdo things. Don't go crazy.
Nice. And what about fitness? Are you doing anything? Are you into fitness?
I do. I do a lot of running. But like these days, thanks to my wife, I've been doing some yoga at home. So that's a new thing.
How are you liking that?
Interesting. It's been, I won't lie, it's been 3 days. So right now it's too new. I'm hoping.
Hi. Sorry, I think we've lost you. Or you're reconnecting.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Say something? Oh, we have you back. All right. Sorry, say that last part again.
So I'm saying I hope that I stick to it for 21 days. And then it'll become a habit. Nice. But I'm enjoying it. I think anything different or new is great. But anyway, like running is my thing. I think a lot when I run also. So I really enjoy that time. I let it go and I'm just out there running. How about you?
And is there anything?
I think these days, I think it's difficult. Especially.
Yeah, and also I'm very jealous of runners, because I want to run, but I have really bad stamina. So I'm not a runner. I'm a wannabe runner. But we've decided, between Vikram and me, we've decided we're going to take up a handstand challenge. So we're doing a handstand challenge. So there's like a whole 20 of different exercises. So there's pikes and patani kya stuff, which you have to do to build up your strength. And then hopefully at the end of 21 days, one of us, if not both of us, will be able to.
And I want to see that video.
That is. Yes, for sure. The ones in the interim, I decided to record one video the other day, and I saw it back, and I was like, no, this is not going to get shown to anybody in the public.
No, but
it's so embarrassing.
But it's one of those things where you're like, a before and after video is always great. So keep it with you. I'm sure at the end of 21 days, you're going to be rocking it.
For sure, dude. Thank you. Awesome. And last thing,
sure.
This is not meant to be a complete work thing, but is the missus around? Can we say hi?
She's in another room.
If we can't,
okay.
Fine.
But I'd love to say hi to Vikram.
Wait, hang on. He's right here. He's snooping on our conversation.
Hey, Vikram.
Say hi.
How are you?
Hi.
How's it going?
That is how we do live calls on Instagram.
Excellent. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, this was great.
For being with us.
I think we should do it more often.
For talking.
And kind of try and get.
Sure.
Can we get more brands on this?
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, I'm asking a couple of people that I'm closer to. But if you know anyone who wants to have a chat, more than happy to do that.
Sure, great.
For sure. So I'm actually going to be speaking to Atmosphere Kombucha in another day or two, and I'm going to be talking to Honey Drakes. You know Paris.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So yeah, but I'll ask Gourmet Jar and a couple of other brands as well. So we'll keep this interesting. I have lost your connection again. There you are. Sorry, say that last bit again. Oh wait, we can't hear your volume. Can you hear? No. Oh no. Okay, bye. Type that later, okay? I can't hear anything. See you. Thank you guys for joining.